Hey, you know what? It took me a long time to realize this, but I think I'm finally comfortable with saying it. I love dragons. They're pretty darn cool. Oh, are you one of them furries or something? Huh? Oh, no, I just really like them. Nah, you're definitely a furry. Come on, just admit it. But I'm not. Hey, it's all good, mate. No need to hide it. So Cicada bounces down, right? Flaps her wings, and then it goes Cicada, and it's like, roar, Cicada, metal roar, and then, yeah, that's it. Hell yeah. There's a certain assumption I've noticed whenever people say they really like fantasy things, a certain animal character that's anthropomorphic, maybe from a TV show or a film, or they adore dragons like myself. Apparently, according to some, not everyone, you can't just like dragons and not be a furry, you have to be both. Now I'm going to say this right here because context is very important in a topic like this. Well, any topic for that matter, but still. I myself am not a furry, and I'm not saying that I hate furries or anything, I'm just simply expressing how I feel about this, and why I think it's just a bit of a stretch to assume that dragon lover equals furry. However, there is another term that's used, one more specific than furry, and that seems to fix this very dilemma. And that term scaly. Well, if you're not a furry, then you must be a scaly, right? Come on, that fits perfectly with your identity. I mean, I guess, but that just seems more like a subgenre of furry, right? Feel free to correct me on this, but aren't scalies just the same as furries, but just reptilian related? I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I can definitely understand it if someone just wants to identify as a furry or a scaly so they can belong in a community, that's fine. I'm more so talking about those like me who just simply have an unrelenting affinity for dragons. I feel like the whole labeling a person for what they like thing is not only misguided in terms of this sort of situation, but it's also just lumping you into a category that you may have little to no connection to. Again, don't get me wrong here, I also understand the need for labels when it comes to communities and different cultures. You got your Sonic fans, anime, bronies, furries, Madagascarians? It definitely helps to have a name for something to make things easier, sure, but I think it's entirely possible to simply like something and not be a part of the fanbase or community dedicated to the subject in question. Like, just because a movie, game, TV show, or whatever has a talking/anthropomorphic animal character, that doesn't mean to say it's subliminal messaging to make you become a furry or something.
But who can resist this?
One thing that really bothers me, for example, is people out there claiming that liking any Disney film makes you a furry. Like, you just watch one and that's it, you've just sealed your fate apparently. Of course, I enjoyed films like The Lion King and Jungle Book, but I'm not gonna immediately run out and spend upwards to $6,000 on a fursuit and exclaim things such as,
Uwu pounces on you. Oh whoa, what's this? Notice his bulge.
That's just a tad ridiculous. I think there's one definitive way that makes or breaks the argument as to whether or not a person can be classed as a furry or a scaly. Does the individual themselves claim to identify as a furry or a scaly? Because ultimately, it's up to them to decide, not the person who just assumes that they are. So when I say I'm not a furry, it means I'm not a furry. Sorry if this comes across a bit heated, I'm just rather annoyed whenever this comes up. But hey, this is just my opinion after all, so what do I know? I'm curious to see what other people think about this, so please feel free to leave a comment with your thoughts on this below. As much as this sort of situation bothers me, it's still rather fascinating in a weird way. Alright, I'm gonna go do more scaly art for my scaly persona. Have a great day, and goodbye for now.